my husband and I are literally, when in stress, stay calm and renovate. So like we just finished renovating. This room used to be my son's room, and it's now my office. And so I'm getting used to, I'm trying to figure out the lights up here.
Yeah. It's wonderful to have an office, isn't it? I have this extra room in my place, and that's my office. And I have these big windows here, which is great. Like right now, it's fine. Other times of the day, the way the sun hits, it's kind of weird. I have to like mess with the blinds in order to do these.
Hi, my name's Brian Crawford with pghmuseums.org, and over the next several weeks, I'll be talking with artists, museum directors, and even the general manager of a professional sports team. Due to the COVID-19 coronavirus, we'll be practicing social distancing and speaking over video, and talking about how the virus is affecting the people who make our culture community work. We'll be discussing how it's affecting their lives, how they're staying creative, overcoming challenges, and how they plan to bounce back when we can all leave our homes again. Please join me for COVID Conversations.
We're here with Anna Doering with the Society to Preserve the Millvale Murals of Maxo, Vanka, and we're here talking about the COVID-19 virus and how you're surviving and everything else. So I know you're doing a lot of remodeling, correct? You're in a room that's been just redone?
Yeah, personally, I'm getting a lot done. And I think it's a lot of just procrastination. But as far as the murals go, we're just missing everybody because we're used to seeing, 100 or so people a week at the murals for tours. So now we're just we're hoping everyone's staying home and staying healthy.
So where the murals are, it's in a church, and obviously everything is closed off. Do you know, is the church doing things as well to try to bring people in?
So all the churches.
Yeah,
I was going to say all the churches in the diocese are closed right now, but they are doing online services, and the St. Nicholas Church is part of the Shrines of Pittsburgh. So people can look up Shrines of Pittsburgh or Pittsburgh Shrines and get links to what they're doing online.
So now that everybody is at home and you're encouraging people to stay home and stay safe, are you doing anything with the society to just keep in touch with people, to keep people interested and engaged in this time where everybody's absent?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think what we're doing is what a lot of people are doing, is trying to figure out how we deliver the experience online, virtually. You can go on our website, vankamurals.org, and see the murals. So all the murals are up on our website, and we encourage people to check that out. We have a lot of other information about the conservation and other things. It's kind of a one-stop shop. But you also, if you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, we're trying to create some things that parents can use at home as well as adults can just entertain themselves. So right now on Instagram, there is a draw a mural from memory challenge. And we've had a few people respond, both adults and children, drawing their favorite murals. I found one woman posted a picture she drew of Prudence, which is this one.
Okay.
And then her daughter drew one too. And she said the reason that one is the one that her daughter remembered is because it's the one she points to when her daughter starts to talk in church. And so it's, telling her to be quiet. But so we're trying to create some activities online, and we do have a Vanka at home destination on our website. And if you go there, you can see all kinds of activities. This week's, actually today, we're posting a new one. We're going to post the Capitalist. And there's both sort of a docent reflection on what does it mean to them, like what is this mural about? And then there's the chance to kind of take, sort of use it as an educational tool, but also just we put in there a lot of what we think are good conversation starters for dinner at home related to the mural itself. And as you can imagine with the Capitalist, there's a lot of good things, a lot of good food for thought within that mural that you could talk about.
Oh, I can imagine. And I'm thinking of these murals, and I'm thinking of just the time that they were created and the inspiration. And then I think of our current situation. Obviously, they're not quite the same, but there are a lot of things depicted in those murals that could relate to what we're experiencing here, dealing with this shutdown and with the virus, and especially looking at what's going on in New York City and in New York State, and the mass deaths and things like that. I want to hear, what are your thoughts? Do you think that these murals maybe are more relevant to people after this situation than before? And we'll hear your response right after this break.
Get to know Salzburg on a personal level at the Rebecca B. Haddon Stonehouse Museum. Operated by the Salzburg Area Historical Society, the Stonehouse displays, collects, and preserves a variety of items that bring the history of Salzburg to life. Its expanded edition makes room for medical supplies, industry innovations in kerosene and salt springs, and much more. To learn more about the expansion, we spoke to local Salzburg historian and engineer Jack McGuire.
We have two additions at the back of the original stone house. The original structure was built in 1830. And I believe it was in the 1970s, we built the first edition. And I just try to keep in mind the old structure, not have anything that looks too contrasting to that. It's just a one-story addition that we put on the back. It's not two-story like the original structure.
Immerse yourself in Salzburg culture and learn how this now small town on the edge of Indiana County has had such a major impact on this region. Find out more at RebeccaBHaddonSHM.com.
We like to say that the murals are universal and timeless, that they can, that was part of Vanka's genius in the way that he painted these, which is that he kind of painted some, I'd say, slightly open-ended commentary on, I think, sort of social justice and war and immigrants and the labor, issues in the country at the time he was painting. But I think he knew that these were going to be ongoing issues. So I think as COVID-19 is really exposing a lot of economic injustice in our country, I think there's a lot of strong relevance there to who is sacrificing at this time, or who is kind of being challenged the most. I think it's also interesting too, I don't know if you know this, Brian, but Vanka had emigrated to New York before he came to Pittsburgh. So he was living in New York when he was asked to come to the church to paint the murals, and the way he spent his time in New York was getting out on the street and sketching and drawing what was happening during the Depression. So a lot of his early work in the United States was really just depicting and telling the story of the crushing, impact of the Depression. And then he came to Pittsburgh and sort of told the same story, about who was being, the positives and the negatives of what was happening in the country at the time. And we always think about, if you think about the fact that he was painting in 1937 and then during war in 1941, and we kind of have, to your point, we've kind of likened this to a war that we're fighting, and looking at the cost there. We always keep saying if Vanka was alive today and there were two more spots to paint a mural, murals in the church, sort of what would he be painting today? And I think it would be an interesting kind of exercise to get people to take the big themes that are in the murals, social justice, immigrant, war, all this other stuff, and put it in the context of COVID-19 and have some contemporary artists paint in that same theme, sort of make their own commentary on it.
It would be interesting. It would actually be, I think, like an interesting thing, and maybe this is an idea for you guys, because I love the Vanka murals at home and stuff like that, but I think that would be kind of cool if you did a call to artists, just like to see who would want to come up with their own commentary on what's going on, and maybe like that would be a cool showcase.
Oh yeah. Well, honestly, that's fancy you mentioned that. We do our annual cocktails and conservation, so our annual fundraiser every year. Of course, it was supposed to be this Friday, so it was postponed. We optimistically postponed it to November, hoping that there's going to be a way for us to gather. If we can't do it in person, we'll figure out how to do it remotely. But one of the features of that event is the Art of Social Justice auction. And we have local artists contribute work to auction during the event. But it might be, I think you have a good idea there, which is we might want to expand on what we're looking for and really encourage people to comment on what's been happening during this crisis. And maybe we'll get some really interesting submissions for the auction in November.
Yeah, I think that would be really interesting. I'd like to see what people's takes are on all of this. I know I was talking with Bob Fryer. He was in the first episode of these COVID conversations, and he had said that he's been preparing for this forever, basically, because a lot of his art has gas masks on and things like that. So I kind of pitched the same idea to him. I said, you should have like a post-COVID sale, and it'll go crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think, again, I go back to what you were raising, which is that, for, I guess, kind of just not in a depressing way, but not in a surprising way, the issues that were facing the United States, in 1937 and 1941 are facing the world are, things that they're replaying themselves right now, just with a different kind of tune, I guess, but they're replaying. Kind of depressing.
Yeah. Yeah, they say always history repeats itself, and it is kind of crazy in a way, because I've read some commentary where, I'm not involved in world politics, so I don't see this firsthand, but apparently countries, you can look at the United States where, our president tried to buy a vaccine or buy the scientists creating a vaccine to steal it for the U.S., but they're saying that even outside of the United States, a lot of countries are not necessarily working together the way that they could, and everyone's kind of thinking inwardly during this virus. So you do see kind of like a world retreat into itself during this time, which is crazy.
The other thing and I know that this has come up, and actually, one thing I think is really important to think about is just how important art has been at this time. Art, people, just creativity, even if it's not painting, or maybe it's painting, but it's also mask making and community building. And that's another central theme of the murals, was really a celebration of community. And it really, to your point, we are only better, I think, when we can come together and solve a problem, not point fingers at, who's to blame kind of thing. So I think, it's like, let's start solving this problem and hang together on it.
How are some ways that people can support the society during this situation?
We depend a lot on individuals and communities to, the tours generate support for the murals and support for our programming. We obviously have not been doing tours since mid-March, so that's a concern for us. But I wanted to let people know that there are still ways that they can support what we're doing and learn something about the murals. They can always go to our website. As I mentioned, we have a shop online. And in addition to get this fabulous t-shirt that you can get, there's a catalog there that tells the story of the murals. So I'd really, if people are interested in maybe getting familiar with them before they come to visit when we're open again, that would be great. I also wanted to say that, like many nonprofits, we are going to be participating in Give Big Pittsburgh. That's going to start on May 5th and run through May. So we know that you want us to be here people want us to be here when everything gets back to normal. So if it's possible to support us and other nonprofits in town, we hope you'll do that.
Now, do you have a piece of advice that you would like to give to the people out there on something you've done to help you cope with this situation that might be helpful to someone else out there who's just looking for a way to occupy their time and get through this period? Because it is, especially if you're like an extrovert, this is a very difficult time to be stuck at home.
I am definitely suffering from that stress for sure. I am trying to get together with friends online and have some conversations. It usually involves a glass of wine or something. But you know what I've done? I mentioned to you, my husband and I do like to do a lot of renovating. So we've been painting, actually working within the supplies we have in our home, kind of thing. But you know what's really I've been enjoying is getting out and walking by myself and doing a lot of thinking. I also am really lucky that I have a garden space out, so I've been doing a lot of planting, and my garden's going to be in better shape than it's ever been in its entire existence since I have more time to spend. And I did dust off my high school sewing skills, and I am making masks. So I've been enjoying doing that too. I'm not sure how long that enthusiasm for sewing will last, probably as long as the need lasts. But it's also been a way to be part of something that's, so Mask Makers of Pittsburgh has been a nice community opportunity to get together and work on something that's making a difference. And I like to do that.
PGH Museums is made possible through our affiliates such as the Punxsutawney Weather Discovery Center. The Punxsutawney Weather Discovery Center is an interactive science center devoted to weather and weather folklore located in a century-old former post office in a town who's known for its weather-predicting groundhog. The Punxsutawney Weather Discovery Center lets you become a tornado, make a thunderstorm, or even be a TV weather forecaster. We met up with the center's executive director, Marlene Leatlock, to see if she's ever been caught playing with the green screen.
Yes, don't tell my board, but yes, we play with the green screen all the time. It's fun. It's if you've never been in front of one of them, you can pretend that you're doing the weather. You can also take one of the green capes that we have and make your body disappear. So, there's all kinds of fun things that you can do with it.
Has she ever forged a weather forecast and predicted a catastrophe?
I can't say that I've done that, but that gives me some food for thought.
You can create your own weather apocalypse forecast and learn everything the center has to offer at the Punxsutawney Weather Discovery Center. Discover more at weatherdiscovery.org. Thank you for listening to COVID Conversations, a special series for PGH Museums, produced and edited by me, Brian Crawford. Support PGH Museums by joining our membership program at pghmuseums.org/join. Our music is Energy 2013 by Sasha Endy and can be found at filmmusic.io and licensed under the Creative Commons. Let us know how you're keeping your spark in these trying times. Email me at brian@pghmuseums.org. Stay safe, keep your distance, and keep creating.